Hello, friends, and welcome to Global Vegan Business Expo. We will be talking about the future of vegan and sustainable fashion in India. Fashion that has become such an integral part of our life. It is one of the largest consumer industries of the world, but the inside story is not the most beautiful. It's an industry which thrives on leather, silk, wool, fur, and other animal products. Without exaggeration, there would be billions of animals killed each year for fashion, for bags, and for clothes. We have with us some exemplary guests with us who chose to be different. They were bold enough to tread on a path that was less taken and have now set an example for the young fashionistas. I'm very proud to introduce you to Purvi Doshi, an international designer with a passion for fashion. Her ideals stem from a life and culture that believes in ahimsa, and she believes in handcrafted, responsible, and cruelty free fashion. According to her, anything that is cruel cannot be sustainable fashion. Welcome, Purvi, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Ruchika.
Naveen Jha, a co founder of Gauma, their philosophy is to live and let live. They provide all leather substitute merchandise that are of exceptional quality, specially designed, while being available at affordable price. Welcome, Naveen. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Ruchika. Thank you.
And Shruti Jain. Well, she believes style is compassion. A co-founder of Artistic and a vegan influencer and stylist by Style Designer, Destino. I'm sorry. Address Chick is a platform that's educating consumers about the need for a holistic, ethical lifestyle that takes care of animal, planet, and humans. And it's also a platform for ethical brands and empowering people to make informed and responsible choices. Hello, Shruti, and welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
So, most of us are unaware about the problems that are there in the fashion industry. And I mean, cruelty is such a big part of it. Can you share with us how you kickstarted your brand and what was it like in the initial stages to explain people about sustainable and cruelty-free fashion? Purvi, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so the question is how my brand started, right? So my brand started, see, I started working 20, 25 years ago. I'm ancient, I feel, when I was studying in college. And the change in the design philosophy or in my brand ideology came almost 6 years back when I was. It just happened. It was a story that I had kept hearing about silk and being Jain. I had always heard that we should not wear silk, right? And I never try to understand why we cannot wear silk. It was just something that my mom used to say and people around us used to say. And then one day I saw a video. I finally wanted to know why they say no to silk and how silk is made. And that was eye opener. That was shocking when I came to know that to make 1 meter of silk, how we boil the silkworms alive, and for 1 meter we need 3,500 silkworms. They make 1 meter, and
Right.
that was really shocking. And actually, I felt ashamed. I said, I didn't know about this, and that day I decided that I want to make a change in my fashion. Silk, the story of silk, took me to the story of pollution, to child labor, to to maybe employment generation, to maybe how beautiful art and craft we have. So one good thing led me to many good things, and that was where I changed to sustainable fashion. And today I work on a lot of parameters. It's not only silk or cruelty free fashion, it is pollution free, it is made in India. One garment of mine generates employment to 3 to 4 people involved in it. So then it is, of course, now we are working on zero waste fashion as well. So there is no end to it. We keep learning new things every day to, to see that we don't pollute earth, that we don't hurt other living beings, or we don't waste resources, um, and so on. I changed mindset of my employees, my clients, and everyone around me had an impact of what I was thinking. So this is how it started, and this is what I realized, during the journey. Yeah, so I stopped working with any machine-made fabric. It has to be hand woven, because millions of people are involved in weaving fabrics in India. So why not?
Yeah. But how did people take to the sustainable fashion?
Oh, it was very difficult. Even today, it is very difficult. They understand, they like it, they love it, they love the concept, they appreciate me, they find me very kind-hearted, good person, but they want to do what they want to do in name of fashion. So, see, for example, if I tell you about Jains, they will not want a motif of birds and animals on their outfit, but they will wear a silk outfit,
Yeah.
right? So, and I don't understand. I tell them that the silk is made by killing so many of silkworms. Millions of silkworms you kill so ruthlessly, so cruelly, but they still do it. Even people who are teaching, Jainism, or they are not able to stop wearing silk somehow. So it is so deep rooted that this is, so show off is still there. You're still not clear with the conscience.
True.
But yes, I do see a little change. I have one bride, for whom I'm working. I'm making. She has made all khadi outfits for her wedding. Her whole family is wearing khadi. Not only khadi, natural dyes with hand embroideries. Uh, Even they've chosen a decor which is very simple, no wastage of anything. So, and no printing the invitations, so not wasting the paper also. I have a groom who is just, I'm working with them also, so he is also getting everything done. So they could abandon silk. So now people are slowly coming to, they are understanding what it is all about, why they should not wear silk, and what is the real thing, what should be, what it should be like. So yes, I'm seeing changes.
Yes, and that's great. And as you rightly said, that consciousness is missing. That's a very powerful observation. Um, Naveen, you are in non-leather bags. Bags are such a, let's say it's like people want to get identified by the brand they carry. How did you penetrate into those minds? You must have faced so many challenges initially. What was that like?
Uh, 4 year back, we have started the whole journey, and our whole co-founder thought process is that how we can create a mass and class both kind of product. So, like if you make a class kind of product, of course, you are not getting into the mind of a lot of people. You
Mm-hmm.
can have a small segment, and they can believe to be whatever they like. But how you have in both category, and that's where we kind of started thinking how we place ourselves and what kind of product range. So we decided that we will have whatever you can see in leather, we would like to create in non-leather. So in that process, we have created more than 350 SKUs. So it
Wow.
was interesting and seeing that in what are the people, either male, female, or young women or young male, what kind of product they use, what are their thought process, people in corporate, what kind of leather product they use. So we were kind of aggressively understanding that, and how we can provide them substitute by sensitive with their what is their price range, and the same time they also buy in the process of how they can be animal cruelty free by explaining them, of course, our purpose and vision. So we would like to see that how we can use the market forces
Mm-hmm.
and place the the animal cruelty product in the mainstream.
Hmm.
Year by year, we are understanding, studying the distribution system, how the product reached the customer. Because if you see that, though we say the online, etc., but in India kind of place, even in Europe also, we provided in UK, etc. The physical and digital both presence need to attract a different kind of people. So decoding that, and of course, it's a longer haul. You need a more investment. You need a more like-minded people, and everyone takes little time to understand why you are doing this, why it is important, what is the
Yeah.
business proposition. All sort of, like, I'm sure the typical other businesses, new startup must be going through the same process. But here, at the moment you say the non-leather, people have, oh, whether it's a durable, whether
Yes.
it is working, all sort of questions they have. And I
Yeah.
ask, how you know that leather is durable? Like,
Yeah.
if you live in the moisture environment, they will also get fungus. So it's just the people thought process are in set in that direction. But so far our journey is very beautiful. Whoever we are coming in contact, and whoever is our partner in the process, they really kind of got bought into that process. And they were saying that though we would like to change our product line, but we didn't get a much option available in the smaller city. Like, if you
Mhm.
say, in addition to, except the Bangalore, we have our 20 plus stores sell our product. We are in Coimbatore, Belgaum, Hubli, in various places in Maharashtra. So how we can place these products in the mainstream market? And that's where we kind of learn the nuances of promoting such businesses, and how thought process also. But so far it's a great journey. It looks positive, and the
Mhm.
people are connecting with you. They are also in that thought process. So is this kind of meaningful?
Yeah. Yeah. Shruti, what was your experience being online? And when you spoke about vegan, especially when people, I mean, the vegan is probably identified more with food than with, products.
That's true. So, my journey is very similar to Purvi. As a Jain, I'd never used leather in my life. And the moment I realized about how silk is made with, I was like, this can't happen. Your wardrobe cannot have silk, leather, wool, or any materials which are bad for the animals. Because it's like it's inherent from your values. If you are not, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, how
Mm.
can you be using leather? It never kind of, I could never understand how could somebody do that. It's just totally completely derailing from your values when you say that
Yeah.
I'm a vegan or a vegetarian.
And
uh,
controversial.
yeah. And then you are praying. I mean, India is filled with Hindus, and Hindus worship cows. And I just don't understand that how can somebody worship cow and get in their car, which is made up of leather car seats, and carry a bag which is made from calf leather. It's just not something I could ever associate with. And so I thought, why not? And people always thought that, if you're not using leather, or if you have to lead a certain stylish luxury lifestyle, you have to kind of work with leather or such materials. And I always thought that that's not the case. So that's
Yeah.
how my first blog started, which is called Style Destino. And I wanted to show people that you can be stylish, you can wear luxury brands if you want to, and you can have whatever sensibilities you want to follow, and yet you don't have to sacrifice on your values when it comes to animal welfare. And that's how my journey of my blog started. And over the course of my journey, when I was earlier living in the UK, and finding good quality brands which were not using animal products was easier, especially accessories. I mean, clothing is easier to find, but accessories was hard. Like
Yeah.
good quality bags. I mean, back then obviously we didn't have brands like Goma, when I'm talking about. So I thought of starting my platform wherein people could find, because it's one thing to aspire to be having certain values, but if you can't find products to match, a lot of people don't have that willingness to sacrifice. They would still go and end up buying leather. So I wanted to bridge the gap, and that's how we started Address Chic. So we first thought that why not introduce people with brands. And you know, when we started international shopping, I mean online shopping was just starting out, and still there were brands who were ready to ship internationally. And uh, so if somebody is willing to pay say 50,000 rupees for a luxury designer bag, and if you can get the same quality, better quality, which is not coming from harm to animals, there were people who were willing to pay. And we thought, why not give them the option. So many times from my conversations with people, and when we started out, we did our market research, we realized that it was not about not doing it, but also they didn't know where to go and shop. And not everybody has the time or willingness,
Yeah.
or they don't understand how to go about searching for such brands. So we started out with an online magazine called Address Sheet, and we worked with various brands across Europe, US, Singapore, and we started creating that kind of information about, you can be stylish and you don't have to sacrifice on your values. And when we started on our vegan journey, we realized that okay, it's not just about animals, it's
Mhm.
also about how humans and the planet is treated. I mean, you
Oh,
cannot say I'm making a
absolutely.
vegan bag, but I'm exploiting people and paying them wages which are next to nothing,
Yeah.
and I'm killing the planet at the same time. I mean, that just doesn't go together. So slowly in our journey, me as a person, I changed into being somebody who's more sustainable. I'm a little more conscious about my choices. So usually it's the other way around. For people, it's the values and then the business follows. For me, it was like my business just kind of gave a different dimension to my values, that I can't just talk about veganism or vegetarianism and
Hmm.
exploit people and use brands or products which are harming people or the planet. And we launched our online store, working with brands, curating products which didn't sacrifice values or style. And that's how Address Sheet was born.
Yeah, and it's great. I've been through your Instagram profile. I follow you. I've seen your blog, and it's unbelievable the kind of choices which are available. And they're so beautiful.
Exactly. And now we have so many brands with thank God to veganism becoming coming into mainstream. Now people who were earlier wearing leather now recognize that okay, if we don't kill animals on our plate, why should we be doing the same for our wardrobes? And they are wanting to make that shift, and they are making that shift. So I think that awareness is there. It's just that the brands have to realize that it's not just about being vegan or sustainable. You also have to up your game and make it more uh, appealing to the person. So you cannot just sell yourself by saying that I'm a
Yes.
vegan brand. You have to make sure your product and your brand and your marketing and your message is equivalent to any other mainstream brand, and you compete with them. And then sustainability and veganism is like your unique points, but that should
Right.
not be just the selling points.
Yes, that can't be also, I guess, because everybody doesn't recognize from the compassion point of view.
Exactly.
But Purvi, you mentioned about even child labor, and I want to highlight that on this, because in the name of fashion, there is not just animal abuse happening, but there's a lot of human exploitation as well as environmental exploitation. And I've read a lot on that where leather is concerned, but I'm not aware where fashion is, where clothing is concerned. So, will each of you speak about that?
I've seen young boys doing the same.
Hmm.
I've also read about, the Bangladesh case happened when the whole building collapsed.
Yeah,
The small 10, 12 years old
right.
children were also engaged in making t-shirts. I've read that, in a day they used to make 80 or 90 t-shirts. They were not even allowed to go for a water break or for any other break. Continuously 10,
Wow.
12 hours they used to work, and without any uh, safety measures or without any right wages. So this is happening everywhere. I mean, uh, so we make sure that that's not in the case when I get the work done. I've read that and I know that it should not be there. I don't know how it will be taken care of, looking at the poverty, looking at, there are no other resources. When you have a huge family, they will they will make them work with them. So yeah, we need more rules, more policies about it, to see that they have their childhood and they get the right thing and they're not exploited children.
Yeah. Naveen, can you talk from the leather industry point of view?
Sure. Leather industry, all sort of, but in whatever we are doing in a contract manufacturing, because our each product manufacture in a large quantity. So we had all the like a process laid down. Of course, no child labor, equal wages to men and women based
Yeah.
on their skill levels. Plus, we had a proper. They should have another sanitation process close in the same premises, and various kind of measures they should take it in the process. So kind of when we are talking the non-leather, uh, not in adhesive, different other material also, when they're working in large scale, they try to add for various reasons. So we kind of have a various scrutiny process in the process where we check, and only to the for us is easier because our is a contract manufacturing, and
Mhm.
places are certified to kind of manufacture for Goma. We provide them raw material and different accessories, or they also help us in procuring at various places. So in that way, kind of. But again, if you see that the overall, though this product is used by different people, but the people who make them, their conditions and the situation they live in is entirely different. And so like it's a larger question of poverty, etc. in India. And this year also, kind of, we have consciously taken decision. All our manufacturing earlier, it was at different places, so we kind of consolidated our manufacturing in India. After this China event happened, we kind of got little sensitive. We said, no, no, we don't want to kind of procure from outside India. And it was kind of a little bit of work and several kind of process. It took little time, and still we are struggling to get things done in India. But that's what all our whole organization was at that time. They kind of stand up. So no, no, we should do in India. So we know all what is happening, and we can, whatever we are talking, as much as possible, we can ensure it.
Now that's really nice. Could you throw some light on how the leather industry works and how they are contributing to child labor, human exploitation, environmental exploitation?
Oh yes. If you see that in any tanning industry, from like especially in Kanpur, we have
Yeah.
also manufacturing unit in Kanpur. So we regularly go that place. Very taking out the skin, drying it out, tanning. It's like a horrible process. Like effluents are coming and reaching to the rivers. Uh, 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 I don't. I hardly see any regulation process there.
Yes.
uh, 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 Children's different age people are working in not in a very hygienic situations, and then further it gets stored at different places, and people, when it come to the manufacturing unit, the similar there's hardly any safety measures or
Yeah.
hygienic sanitized processes are there. They use different kind of colors. Several of them are also cryogenic material
Yes.
people
Yes.
are using while manufacturing. So I'm saying that there's a hardly any regulation and sensitivity at that process. Some of the people I found, they were saying, "Oh, we produce the ethical leather, which is of course leather, but in a process they have like no child labor or wage related effluent treatment plant, etc." But I think 5%, 95% industry work on different way.
I wonder how ethical those are because the whole tanning process itself is such a dangerous process, right? Because the chemicals are getting into the water, the soil. The people there are consuming that. It's entering into their food chain.
Yeah.
They're consuming that food and water, and it's affecting the health of children. as well as the people over there. I mean, but children specifically.
Typically, the people who we work there, their hand colors are different. Our
Yeah,
hands look differently, and their hands are. It you look like they have put a lot of brownish color, like whole skin and all. If you see that, it is horrible.
yeah,
Even the color of rivers changes in China. When if they produce red T-shirts, that the rivers are red. It's denim. The rivers are blue, and so are
yeah,
the people.
yeah, yeah.
Horrific.
So it's very alarming because usually people don't associate fashion with that human exploitation part. They are just not aware. And that's why I want to highlight this a little more to the audience that when you make a purchase, make sure there's no exploitation that has happened, like literally lives of people are getting affected in this. They're getting diseases or their lives are getting shortened. So I think as consumers our decisions also have to be very responsibly made.
Ruchika, can I bring in something here?
Yes, please.
So, we, as you rightly said, child labor, environmental issues, and animal issues all exist in the fashion industry. And one very, very common example, which we probably never even thought of, is denim. And whenever I talk about denim, uh, everybody's like shocked.
Yeah.
Just on an average, can you guess how much liter water is needed to produce one pair of denim?
Is it around 150 liters or
2,000, 20,000.
So it's on average, a pair of denim pants requires 4,000 liters of water to
oh my
produce.
god,
I mean, we can't. It's the lifetime a person in Africa needs for drinking.
my goodness.
So just one pair of denim, and now because denim has become such a fashion access, I mean, such a must-have in your wardrobe, and it makes a fashion statement. People have so many denim pants, and they don't even realize where and how it is coming from. So
Yeah,
because we're talking about exploitation of people, we don't realize that how when the denim is made, it's not just about the water, but people who make them. Every denim is sandblasted, and that sandblasting process is very toxic. Most of the factories where denim is produced in the world, like I would say over 90% of the denim which is produced in the world, is produced in factories where people are not given proper protective gear when they are sandblasting the denim, and the workers end up with diseases, lung diseases caused by that process. And it's not just the people making them, and it's not just denim, but every cotton clothing, like even denim pants are made from cotton. And in India we have this mindset that, oh, it's if it's cotton, it's natural and it's good and it's sustainable. And most of the sustainable brands in India to date market themselves that we make cotton clothing, and that's why it's sustainable. But cotton is one of the most unsustainable fabrics, because if you go by the numbers, cotton uses only 2.5% of agricultural land on an average. But cotton crop uses 16% of the pesticides used all over the world. So can you see that staggering number? And ultimately crop is grown by people who are using those harmful, toxic, carcinogenic pesticides and insecticides, and they are inhaling it every day. And when you grow cotton, that cotton degrades the soil, and that soil is no good after a few years, after a certain period of time. So basically, you are killing the land when you are growing cotton. You are endangering the life of people who are growing it, and cotton. I mean, cotton uses a lot of water as well. It's a very water thirsty crop. So cotton, which we think is like a staple in all our wardrobes, we think it's sustainable, which it is not. And we don't even know these things because these are never highlighted by brands, because of the very fact that if they do, most of the people would probably think twice about doing it. So as you rightly said, as consumers, the onus is on us to educate ourselves, and as influencers, each one of us in this discussion is an influencer by themselves, right? Influencer does not mean you have to have an Instagram or a social
yeah,
account. We can be influencers in our own lives, in our own ways. Urvi is a designer. Naveen has a sustainable brand. you are doing such great work in promoting sustainability and vegan fashion, right? So we all have to be taking the charge of creating that kind of awareness and being activists in whatever circles and however many people we can reach out, because information is power when it comes to changing lifestyle. And as an influencer, like I have my blog, I have my Instagram, and I have noticed that when I keep on posting about the same things over and over again, and people keep on listening to it, at some point it hits them that, okay, I think I've been just ignoring this message for too long, but let me start making small changes. And I received so many messages from people, that, okay, I've been following you, and I realized how like denim was something which I have been campaigning from last 1 year. I did an article on it. I spoke on a couple of forums, and people who had been following me actually messaged me that, I wanted to buy something, but I ended up buying a second-hand brand or second-hand denim pants, or I supported a sustainable brand which was using organic cotton. And denim is another example of cruelty. Most of the denim pants come with a leather patch. And as Jay, who may not be using leather, don't even realize that the Levi's pants that you are wearing from the denim pants that you are wearing has a leather patch on it. So you may not be carrying a leather bag, you may not be sitting in a leather car, but when you're wearing those pair of denim pants, you are still contributing to animal cruelty by just having that leather patch on the back. So, I mean, yeah, fashion industry is full of, it has a whole dark side, which is not revealed, and it's always packaged in that flashy, glamorous package.
Yeah. But I just got a little state of shock when you said that this is what denim, this is what goes into denim. So I'm thinking in my mind, okay, my next purchase will not be denim anymore, it will be cotton. And then you show me this side of cotton and what goes in that. Then what fabric should I be buying?
Yeah, so you should always buy an organically grown cotton fabric, which is Kala Cotton Fin Kutch, which uses rainwater only, and which is grown completely it's naturally. There is no chemical fertilizer used to grow that. So I have now I focus on Kala cotton only, which is rarest and purest breed of cotton, which doesn't take a lot of water, which doesn't spoil the land, and nobody is at nobody is harmed while into the process. So even I had talked a lot about how cotton is growing in India, and all this I had read, and I used to tell people that it's full of pesticides. It goes in your body also whenever the pores open up, and how it eats up the land and eats up the water. So I think organic cotton is the answer, but which is very limited. And how much you will wear it, how will you, Abhito, you are not able to convince people for many things. How will you convince them to wear just one kind of cotton? That's a challenge. But that is the answer to this, what to wear if not cotton, organic cotton, maybe.
But it wouldn't be a fabric that's easily available, right? I mean, I just can't go to a store and get this kind of cotton. It's on a regular basis, a common consumer. What kind of material should he be buying?
Recycled fabrics are a lot in fashion, and they are easily now available, at least by mainstream brands. Mm-hmm. So although I don't really support brands like H&M and Zara, but unfortunately they have a big them on launching their sustainable collections wherein they use recycled materials like recycled cotton. They use tencel. Tencel is made from wood pulp. They use fabrics like Cupro, and you have recycled polyester, although I don't really support recycled polyester too much. There's microplastics in the water, and microplastics actually end up in our water streams, which is harmful for our health. So I think recycled polyester should be used more in your accessories, because you don't have to wash them too often, right, as compared to your clothes. So there are brands which are, everybody is jumping on the sustainable bandwagon, because that is like a big demand in the markets now. So you can look at sustainable collections of a lot of brands. Just Google and there'll be like tons of them. It's just you have to start making that change, that shift.
Oh my God, this was like a real big learning.
But it's very difficult, I would say, because when I decided that I would work only with natural dyes, I don't want to work on chemical dyes anymore. As Shruti said, how it is, it's bad effects. Now I have hardly 6 or 7 colors in my wardrobe. Most of them are off whites. Or then I would have maroons or mustards or deep greens, and they bleed. So
Yeah.
even I made men's jackets also, but they bleed and they fade. So now you understand mindset kitna change karna padega ki even if they are faded, you should be proud of it because they're natural, they don't pollute, they're good for you, good for your body, good for the earth. So it is very very challenging when when you try to adopt sustainability. You can't even eat that candy which comes in the in the wrapper because that is also not sustainable. It's not a small thing. It's a big journey. It's a big thing to adopt sustainability in true meaning.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to the Gandhi age, where people were just wearing local stuff, hand woven, simple.
and and they used to have only what they need. Our wardrobes are full of, I mean, they you open it and things would fall off. So even I tell my clients when they come, I said, oh, buy only if you want. And it's very hard for me to say that because I have to sell my outfits, but I still promote that. Don't
Yeah,
buy uh, unnecessary things.
yeah, yeah. Naveen, I had a question which has been sent to me by some students from Parsons, and they were saying that how does vegan leather compare to leather in terms of sustainability, functionality, and quality?
Good. No, that's a regular question.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sure.
I think we are comparing apple and orange.
Yeah,
Though it's a substitute, they are different. I think if you say vegan leather from the durability because we have made I told you different 300 kind of different SKUs from shoes to belt to ladies bag, laptop bag, and we tested in different like from carrying the 5 kg to 10 kg to 25 kg, and which material can hold what level, etc. We found that whatever purpose article we are buying, non-leather has those capability either in belt you see, then you like it's more stretchable on your stomach because it's keep going and coming, or is a purse where it goes through lots of frictions and upper skins kind of faded quickly. So we tried in various things. We don't find too much because we say that anything you'll see in leather, its look, design, feel, texture, we can similar thing we can recreate in the non-leather category. So durability wise, functionality wise, we can compete with the or we can do better with the leather product.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And
So if
you
you say
mentioned about,
parameter wise, we can see the parameter wise also stretchability, load. We try on various experiment like a grease test. We do different oil, ice cream. We throw the product and see how the color will change and the spots, stains. We can remove them. Load wise, if you put the load, how the shape of the
uh,
ladies etc. get changed. So on different parameter we have tested it, and we kind of found it's doable. We can make in non-leather different kind of product by learning all these parameters, which anyone has to do it if they want. So not much functionality wise different.
okay, okay. And you mentioned about, the leather tanning industry. How does that compare to the vegan leather?
No, no, vegan leather, as you know that it's either we are having an organic material or it's inorganic matter. It doesn't require those kind of processes. It's a very simple manufacturing unit of these material, where the where in the leather industry, it's various stakeholder involved in these processes in tanning, and it's not regulated, done very unorganized sector. So there is a hardly any hazardous kind of protocol, like anti-hazardous protocols are followed. So like that's totally unorganized, run by the lot of people in various capability and know-how. So it has all sort of thing. Whereas a non-leather manufacturing is done by the organized sector, following the industrial protocol, etc. So again, you are comparing apple and orange. Either if like in parameter we can compare on pollution, on
Right.
hazardousness, especially the cryogenic,
Yes.
on the labors, what kind of labors are used, in what conditions it has been done. It's totally inhuman or conditions people use in the tanning industry, and also a lot of agent systems are involved in those trades. Are also not very transparent trades. People who are involved. So I would suggest that that has a not only leather non-leather kind of thought process, but as a business proposition also, it has a lot of kind of processes which generally we don't subscribe it.
Right, right. Shruti, being an online, platform for international brands, you must be completely updated with international styles and latest trends. Is the animal and environmental issues getting more highlighted in fashion world? And do you see changing trends in that?
So yeah, I would say absolutely. There's been a huge shift in the fashion industry because of the very fact that consumers are really, really more aware now, especially in the international markets like countries like US, Europe. I think sustainable fashion is becoming more of a mainstream than an exception. Every major retailer, every major fashion brand has been launching their sustainable collections. They've been launching their vegan collections because there's a huge demand and a shift in the perception of consumers as well as the brands. Now, I would say it's a good start, although it's not an ideal situation right now because a lot of brands are also greenwashing at the same times.
Yeah.
They're making big claims about being sustainable and good for the planet and good for the animals, but these claims are basically not substantiated by any numbers or facts. It's just more of greenwashing. But at
Yeah.
least that brings to a point that the conversation has started and brands have realized that they need to change their traditional way of working. You know, traditionally people would exploit brands would exploit humans. Animal products were widely used without any second thought about it. And nobody really gave a damn to the planet. Nobody thought the repercussions of the dyes and the materials and the production processes that they were using. But now, because the consumers are more aware and they are demanding change, not just in the fashion industry, right? Even now in the politics of the US, we know that people are demanding those sustainable changes from their expected
Leaders.
president, and they are giving weightage to the one who are talking about that they are going to bring in these sustainable changes versus those who aren't. So it's not just the fashion industry. I think the shift has come in the whole world in every aspect of our lifestyle. It's a beginning. We have a long, long, long road to go because even though I may be talking about sustainability, you may be talking about sustainability, but if anybody would come down to our house and raid our wardrobe or just have a one, audit of our lifestyle, there will be many, many red flags. And I'm not saying it's not there, but I'm saying we are all aware and we know that
Yes.
mistakes we are making and we are willing to bring that change. We need to be moving at a faster pace, but only when we will change, the brands will make that change happen. And like you said, in the animal, we know fur ban has started among most of the big brands, even luxury brands which were like,
Yeah.
which we never thought would ever give up fur, brands
For
like Prada, Armani, these
that's
brands.
even Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci, all of them have said that we are not going to use fur anymore. Gucci, from Burberry to Gucci to Prada, all of them have launched their sustainable collections. In fact, Gucci has recently launched a collection of vegan shoes which are also made from recyclable materials, and the
Yes.
whole is completely sustainable. So
Yes.
imagine that power that we as consumer have, and see the sea of change that's happening. Who would have thought that Gucci would ever launch a sustainable vegan shoe? It's like an oxymoron to me. If somebody would have told me that 15 years back, 10 years back, this would have happened, I would be like, no, it's not. it's not, it can't ever be true, because Gucci is essentially a leather goods brand.
Absolutely.
But they are making that change, and they are not making the change because they want to, but because they have to. That shift is coming, and but we need to move faster about it, because brands will find a way to still be unsustainable but market themselves as sustainable. So we have to keep being aware, and we have to keep speaking to brands and creating that awareness that, okay, you talked about that you are sustainable, now give us the numbers, what are you actually doing, and then follow up through them. That you said that by 2025 you are not going to use any conventional cotton. A lot of brands have started making that claim, that by 2025 we'll switch to organic cotton. But are
Yes.
we really? Somebody has to take that charge, and it's just us consumers who can. So yeah, the change is happening, whether it's in the realm of sustainability from an environmental perspective, or from a humanity perspective, as well as from the animal welfare perspective. That's
Yeah.
happening, and so many amazing brands are there, I can't even tell you. Like, anybody and everybody can dress up however they want, in whatever budget they want, and they can still be sustainable.
Yeah. Shruti, this brings me to the next question, is that this awareness has to be brought amongst the youth, because they are the ones who are going to take this forward. How does one bring that awareness in them? Because as you said, there's such a dark side to the fashion industry that people are just not aware.
So, I have been a part of a lot of activist groups, and I'm part of a lot of awareness campaigns. I have spoken to people who are leader in promoting sustainability. I interviewed Saz Brown. She wrote a book on ethical fashion, and she's like championing ethical fashion all over the world. And we had a very good conversation with Saz. I had an interview with her, which hopefully I'll be publishing soon. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that change, especially in the youth, first has to come from the fashion students' perspective itself. Like, if you are a
Yes.
fashion industry student, you have to be taught about sustainability and ethical fashion right from when you are learning about designing, right? Because that's where the seed is sown. If you These are the
Bang
people
on.
who are going to, yeah, who are going to bring in new collections and new fashion brands. And if they don't know the difference between what is normal cotton and organic cotton and recycled cotton, if they don't know what are the fabric options available, how are they ever going to do it? I mean, even if they want to do it, it can be very, very challenging, as Purvi rightly highlighted, right? It's very challenging for her to find the right products and the right dyes. It's not that they are not available; they are available. Purvi, I'll definitely give you a few names, people who are doing in that stream, but you don't know where to source them from. So it's the onus lies on institutions who are, rolling out these students, and who will be the future brand managers and designers. They need to be educated. We have so many forums, we have so many platforms, fashion magazines to the mainstream newspapers to the different groups. We have to bring in that conversation. When we can do movie screenings, the movie like True Cost of Fashion. We need to have platforms where the youth can be, a movie speaks 1,000 words.
Yes.
We don't have to say so many words. We just show them one movie, and it has that triggering impact on their mind. So I think we need to talk about these already available resources and reach out to them with that. And I think it's the youth who are really, I mean, we don't have to make too much push in the area of awareness, because actually it's the youth, it's us who are bringing this awareness. I think our past generation really never cared, and that's why where we are today. The youth is aware, they need a push, they need resources to make that happen, and they need brands from where they can shop from. So I think it's more, the onus is on the people who are already in the industry to bring that change.
Yeah, Shruti, and I have to share this that, I founded this platform called the Earthen One, where my idea is to spread awareness about animal cruelty and about compassion and, environment and health. And we stumbled upon this, we started doing research on leather, and we made this a very small story on leather. And in my team, this girl shared it with the fashion college, and we didn't do on animal cruelty, but we did it on the human and environmental exploitation. And they were shocked. They did not even know about it. It, and as you rightly said, that these kids need to be told, they need to be made aware that this is what is going in the industry. So they can make
Exactly.
the right choices then, because they are going to be taking that fashion ahead. So it just made them so uncomfortable because immediately they could relate that, oh my God, I'm using leather and this is where it's coming from. So it has to start from institutions like that.
Agreed.
Purvi, your motto is looking fabulous should feel great. What is the story behind this? And how much importance do you give to the artisan in the narrative of your brand?
Looking fabulous should feel great. I think whatever Shruti is saying, and I'm also like, it's all about that. What you're wearing when you like, when you want to eat something, you want to know how it is made, what is put into it, whether it is good for your body or not. So we always try to we are always scared of eating certain things from footpath or street, or we are very much aware about the hygiene, everything. Why not about your outfit or your clothing,
Yeah.
So when you know that the dress you are wearing is sustainable, it's organic, it's eco-friendly, it's employment, it's generating employment, it is made in India, it is not polluting, it is cruelty free, it is recycled or upcycled, or there are fair wages involved in everything about an outfit. When you know, or you try to question it, or you try to know about it, makes you feel good also. You look fabulous, but you also feel good about it, that you know what it is, where it has come from. I made, I think it's already done in other countries, but I have made traceability app for my latest collection that I took to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So that app, there is a barcode on the dresses. You just scan them and you see the whole history, where this fabric has grown, how it is grown, who has made it, the name of the weaver, name of the dyer, name of the tailor who has stitched it. Everything you can find out about it, it was a big thing, but nobody cared to even scan it when it is displayed at my stores, and we tell them about that. So this is what makes you feel good while looking fabulous as well. You are doing the right thing.
Wow, that's such deep thinking, Purvi. I mean, kudos to you. Yeah, that is really deep thinking.
Yes, it is. You need guts. You are opening up all your resources. You're telling them that in this region, this guy, this is his mother who's doing the dyeing, father who's involved in this, all these things, with name, with photograph, everything. So it is sustainable. Yes, somebody is involved in it, who is getting paid for this, and it is natural. Everything about it.
Wow, I have never heard of a concept like that. I mean, how transparent can one get?
Yeah, and you can do that with everything. If every designer should come up with that, make it transparent.
Yeah.
Show people that how it is made.
Yeah.
That will be easier.
Yeah, it would actually make me feel so proud to wear that garment then. Right?
Yes.
Know that the source from where it's come, how it's come, no one's exploited, they've been paid well, there has been fair trade. It will just make me feel so good to wear that garment. I think your motto is bang on. I think the designers need to take inspiration from you, and especially the youngsters, they should definitely be taking inspiration from you. Social media, and has having such a big impact on fashion, and influencers, they're helping brands reach to grassroots level, which wasn't seen happening with other media forms before. So one of the fashion influencers that the youngsters should be following is Shruti. But Shruti, other than that, and Purvi and Naveen, would you all suggest who are the other fashion influencers people should be following?
I think somehow I haven't met because I'm not into it. I am so busy with my work that I don't know much about the what influencers who are showing the grassroots level. I've seen them wearing sustainable thing. They're talking about it, but not actually how this brand is working.
Yeah.
So I have not seen that. Whoever I have seen so far, I have not seen कि किसी ने ये बोला कि the brand is working with this weavers, in this place, or how it has come up, what is the process. I think we need more people like Shruti. a lot more.
Yes.
Who talks real things? Who talks real things? They don't talk real things. They wear it, they show it, they, influence people, but not spreading the right message.
Yeah. But Purvi, I think even you are an influencer in your own way, and I think every young fashionista should definitely be following you, and the way you are taking fashion ahead.
Thank you.
Shruti, who else would you suggest?
Okay, I was not on mute. So my favorites are there's this lady. I'm sorry, I don't follow too many in Indian industry because most of the bloggers, as Purvi rightly said, they they are not really sustainable. Even if they say they have moved towards sustainability and done a few things, it's not the real talk. Like, they will still be unboxing things and buying, I mean, getting free products from so many brands which are not sustainable, but because they get paid for it, they would still be marketing it. So in India, I'm not aware of, I mean, there may be some obviously, but I'm not aware. But globally, there are some many great sustainable bloggers who are promoting the concept and who are really, they're not just talking the talk, they are living the talk. So one of them is Water Through Skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's THRU, Water Through Skin. There's
Okay.
another one called Style with a Smile. Noah, she's a good friend as well. She's Israeli living in Germany. And there are a few others. I could give you the name later if you just want to flash it in your group. But these are two of my favorites. And there are so many amazing other bloggers and influencers. You can just Google, you can just use the hashtag sustainable bloggers, find a few. I mean, there's never a dearth of finding people who are doing the right thing. It's just
Yeah.
about making that effort to doing that search, whether it's a sustainable influencer or it's an ethical brand or it's a concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ruchika, sorry, I just remembered when I went to Paris for a trade show, I met a model. Her name was Kiko. And she said, I only model for those who are into sustainable fashion. So she doesn't model for anyone else. That was so amazing. And then she wore my outfit and she did it for free. She said, okay, this is my target for coming 5 years. Sorry, maybe after 1 year, I completely stop taking any assignment which involves, there's no sustainability. So I was so impressed and I was so proud of her. So yeah, Shruti is right. There are people, maybe we do not know more of them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Naveen, would you know of any people who definitely don't use leather in India and are influencers promoting non-leather brands?
So, as Purvi and Shruti said, we have also find like if the people kind of endorse one day one product, other day other product, it kind of become a tricky whether you should get associated or not. So, what we did that we thought that like in your last question also regarding awareness, I find these both questions are mixed together. How we can take this concept to the streets and where the people, like for example, Hubli, where we are kind of based there, we have around 1.5 lakh households, let's say.
Mhm.
How we can have a 10,000 household wear our products, and how
Mm.
kind of we go from that thought process. Like for example, our influencer means that we identify who are the top 10 Gen business person,
Hmm.
and how they endorse your product and how your product can be part of them. So then you are really having a people really mean, like for example, I can Motilal Oswal from Oswal your
Yeah.
Motilal Oswal Finances, or
Mm-hmm.
Ganpat Chaudhary, he is a
Riddhi Siddhi.
Riddhi Siddhi,
Yeah.
plus Monarch Capital, Himanshu. So all these people, how they kind of become a champion of what we are doing it. So we kind of have that thought process, from business class to the middle class to the whole street. Like for example, in the store, our product, we say, okay, how much is the leather product are sold, how much is non-leather. Let's see within a year if we can replace those things. So we would like to take this whole influencing kind of thought process to the street.
Right. With
Store
real
by store,
people.
compete store by store, compete people, whoever they have some influence in their own little communities, and so we kind of follow that thought process, and we understand. That's why we don't, like, we say our product name. Everyone laughing when we launch in UK is Goma. Why you kept that name? I said we don't want to kind of beat around the bush, and we know that 70% leather come from the bovine
Cows.
cows and buffaloes. So why we kind of give the different name? We found that that's the best name to keep it and to bang on the kind of what we try to propagate. So we believe that how we kind of take this to the street and have each person become a part of this journey, and then we have to go store to store, business to business, street to street, and slowly we can make some bottom up ladder in this thought process.
Well, in this way, at least you'll see sure results. Like at least you'll see sure transformations happening.
Yeah, that's what, like, we calculate our like output on how many meter of leather we have saved.
Mm,
We calculate
exactly.
from that process. Like last year we have around 2000 cows worth of leather we have saved. So another 3 year we have 1 lakh cow leather. So that
Wow.
kind of thought process we calculate, and through market forces, like people understand the market, we'll go through market. I'm not giving any lectures, you do this or that, etc. We will provide you we will provide you product, and we will replace it through market forces.
Hmm. Hmm. Shruti and Purvi, there's when it comes to fashion, silk and the old traditional, Indian art and craft which involves silk, obviously comes into question. Supporting those artisans, supporting that craft, not letting it die. What do you have to say for that?
So, like I said, I had a discussion with you. So when I say don't wear silk, I'm taking a panga with our all the old craft pattern, banaras, everything. So that's a question to me. I always have dilemma. What comes first, human or planet or animals, or like what? What you should, when I hear that government says that they want to support handloom artists, I mean say handloom weavers, they don't take into consideration the chemical dyes that they use and pollute the river. Likewise, when we talk about our craft and our weaves and we want to promote it, but it involves silk and it involves huge cruelty. I mean, millions of silkworms, they are living beings. They equally feel pain, and
Yeah.
it's their spit what we are wearing. It's so yeah, I know that I think this craft should. I just came to know that initially pattern used to be done in cotton. Petly used to be done in cotton, and there are people who have started doing that again. I just came into contact with few people who are doing all this craft in cotton. So
Mm,
I would definitely promote that. I would
mm.
definitely say that you keep the craft intact, try to bring it back into non-cruel yarns or fibers or textiles.
Yes, yes. I think even in Khadi, Gandhi just did Khadi with cotton, and later
Yes,
Khadi silk and Khadi wool came.
and polykhadi came. I don't know from where, from Mars. Polyester and khadi together, polykhadi, and
Yeah.
it is promoted by everyone, government and everybody. So it is, yeah. We have to be aware about all this. As Shruti says, today you raise a question, tomorrow people would start,
Yes.
getting aware about it, and then day after tomorrow, maybe they will start following the right thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
when things change, like how the industries are changing right now, everything is going from after the COVID situation. we've all become, I mean, people who were not earlier on technology have become technology savvy. They know they have no choice. So it's also about constant evolution, and people have to learn new skills. The same way, in
Yeah.
one area where silk is such a, you know, it goes thousands of years back in our country, and people, silk is like one thing that India is really proud of. But then you have so many other fabrics which have come in picture. You have bamboo silk, you have banana
Yes.
silk, you have milkweed fabrics. So I don't really promote artificial silk, because ultimately it's a polyester product which has its own risks. We need to see sustainable alternatives to silk. There is Tencel, there is Q Pro. So these artists need to be taught. So when we are asking them to change, when we are asking the change to happen, we don't want them to go out of employment, right? But then we have alternatives, and somebody has to take the charge. And those somebody are designers like Purvi, who will say that, okay, you know, I understand that silk is your bread and butter, and I don't want you to lose it. Why don't you start working with bamboo silk? You know, it's a thing. I'll source you the fiber. You try things out with this, and we'll figure out the weaves. What weaves are working with your machines? What fabrics are working well with that? So designers who are sustainable, who are promoting vegan fashion, have to take that lead and train those weavers and give them the alternative materials to work with. For them, it's just about, you know, working with whatever they have. They would probably resist, but if there is a demand for that fabric which can get them better revenue and better livelihood, why would they not change? Of course they will.
Yeah, but I think there's this whole concept that which designers believe that silk and wool is sustainable. You know, I think that definition itself needs to change.
Exactly,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. There is Ahimsa silk available, which is also a good, good way of looking at silk. When they let the moth fly from the cocoon, the, it, it puts a cut and it just flies away. So it's called uh, wild cocoons as well, wild silk. So
Airy silk, airy silk.
Airy silk, I have airy silk. It is very much like cotton because it has very staple fiber, short fiber, so it has its own charm. Secondly, as you said, as designer, our role is to either give them option or give them confidence that even in cotton or in other fabrics, you are looking equally good. It is the design part and not the fabric part only. So I've come up with many collections. One was Coexistence, which I took to New York, and I said, and the collection was so beautiful. It was on khadi, made from khadi. It had all ari embroidery and mirror embroideries. And when my show was over, I think people were clapping and they were saying, "We need this kind of fashion here." So that was the impact of. As a designer can actually convey the right message, and people would change their thinking process. That that silk is not must thing that they should have. I had another so I had created many collections which talks about uh, sustainability in different ways. There was one Renaissance collection which had all 6 natural colors that I showcased on ramp, and I showed how beautiful they are. There was Charwar, I mean movement, Gandhiji's Charwar on khadi. So that collection was khadi, complete natural, very raw khadi, basic shapes, but it was so beautiful and it had big impact. There was another collection called Samrakshan, where it talked about taking care of the species that are getting extinct. So a designer can do a lot of things through fashion. It has a very big role to play, at, in changing people's mind and spreading the right message, talking about the truth behind fashion, the dark side of the fashion.
Yes, absolutely. So, Shruti, can you give maybe 2 or 3 brand names which people can buy on a regular basis, which are sustainable? I want to let's leave them with an option where,
Ritika, I think I had a connection problem. Can you repeat the question, please?
if you can suggest a few brands which people can buy on a regular basis, which are sustainable.
So you're asking for brands which are sustainable, which everybody can
In
buy from.
India, yeah, which people can buy.
So I think, sustainable fashion, most of the problem emanates for people from is that it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's not about being expensive, but it's about the way we have been consuming fashion. Fashion does not have to be disposable. It's not a cup of coffee that you drink and trash away, right? When your fashion products cost as cheap as your, a cup of coffee, that's dangerous. And that's what people approach the sustainable fashion also from. I mean, if you are paying fair wages using fabrics which are ecologically produced using organic cotton or such, the likes of it, it is going to be expensive. So you don't have to buy 10 cheap outfits which you wear twice and throw away. You just need one good fabric, one good outfit. You can wear it as long as it lasts, and it would easily last you for years. Like, I have pieces in my wardrobe which are probably not even from sustainable fashion brands, which were made from good quality. They were not from fast fashion brands, and I have been wearing them for 15 years. Thankfully, I still fit in them. So I've been wearing them for 15 years and it's still there in my wardrobe, which means that it's just how we have been approaching fashion. We've been thinking of it as being disposable. It's not. If you invest so much time, energy, and effort in picking one outfit, you have to wear it over and over again. And there are so many amazing designers in India which are doing work. When it comes to sustainability, I don't have too many names on top of my head right now,
Well,
because
I have. There's Purvi right here.
yeah, Purvi,
And
of course.
Naveen.
Purvi is, of course, Purvi is
Naveen.
there. We have Peru, who's doing great work,
Oh,
but Peru is
yes.
little more on the luxury side because
Yes.
they are really expensive. I agree to that. You have Anita Dongre, who have started launching her sustainable
Oh,
collection,
yes.
and
I
she works with a lot
absolutely.
of artisans. So, I mean, I'm sorry I can't give you too many Indian names right now. But if you just Google, you'll find tons of them. There are so many brands in Auroville. I met. I have a very bad memory, so I can't recall the name. But I've seen
Upasna.
Upasna. Yes, Upasna from Auroville. There's another designer. He's a male designer from Auroville again. He uses bamboo silk, and his stuff is amazing. So you just Google. Everything is there on Google. You use a hashtag Sustainable Fashion India on Instagram, and you'll find lots of things. Just make that effort, and don't think sustainable fashion should be cheap, because if it's
Yes,
cheap, it's not sustainable.
true. Purvi, could you suggest some?
There are many young and upcoming designers who are now just focusing on sustainability. And in few course of time, we will have true and real good designers who are, truly working on sustainability.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's so much to take for the audience from what you all have said. There's a lot of rethinking that needs to be done from our parts. How we are buying and how we are choosing. What are we investing our money in? So there's a lot to take and a lot to chew on. A lot of mindsets to be changed. So with this, thank you so much. There's so much more actually I would want to talk, and I think we can go on this. But thank you so much for taking out the time and sharing this. Um, I think people have to really, as consumers, we really have to think so much more when we buy fashion in the name of fashion. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ruchika.
Ruchika.
Thank you,
Thank
Ruchika.
you. Bye bye, Naveen. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Purvi.